excited about people who are representing the self in a more holistic fashion. So there's another aspect to us. And this aspect to us goes by many names. You can call it energy. You could call it spirit. You could call it the universe. Jung called it the collective unconscious. You could call it God. I choose to call it the higher self. In Huna, these three are called, we're going to go through this process. So these three are called Une, Unihipili, you guys don't have to write this down, and Amakua. Now this is significant because of the meaning of the word. Ue means self or soul. It means, it's the conscious mind, right? It's the 134 bits that, the conscious mind is what you're thinking of right now, where your focus is on. That's the conscious mind. Your unconscious mind is Unihipili. Unihipili means little creature, or little one. Sometimes people call it little one. And one of the things that they stress and that they really understood, because see, Huna is a truly vast body of knowledge, and their understanding of psychology and the nature of people and bringing it together with spirit and energy was just phenomenal. And one of the things that they understood was that the nature of the unconscious mind is that it is very similar, it's very similar in its nature to a 5 to 7-year-old child. The way that it operates, the way that it behaves, the way it thinks, the way it responds and communicates to you, it's a small child. When people talk about their inner child, it's the unconscious mind. The higher self is Amakua. And Amakua means, literally, totally trustworthy parental spirit. Okay. So I'm going to continue on this model for a little bit here, because what we're going to do is we're going to start to talk about the path of life. You guys want to know how to become enlightened? Okay, cool. We're going to talk about it today. So there is a connection between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. This is intuition. This is everything that we learned about earlier today. This is meditation. Let me give you an experience of this. What I want you to do is think of a random number between 1 and 100. Don't tell me. Everybody got it? Okay, now what I want you to do is think of your phone number. Okay, so did you notice that they came from the same place? There's only one place that they can come from, because all thoughts in the conscious mind arise from the unconscious mind. This is a really fascinating idea, because it actually means it is impossible for human beings to be random. Do you know that? It's impossible for a human being to be random. Because if I have you think of a random number, if your unconscious mind is a amalgam, so to speak, a compilation of every experience you've ever had, everything you've ever done, seen, or eaten in your life, then everything that comes up for you has meaning, has significance. Say you came up with 27, and that number happened, maybe that number was 2 digits out of the phone number when you were growing up. Or maybe it was a lottery number that you heard a day or so ago. Or maybe it was something that you saw on the back of someone's clothes as you were walking in. Who knows where it came from, but everything has significance. This is absolutely critical for developing your psychic abilities. learning to trust that everything that comes up is right. You know what I mean? You agree? That everything that comes up has meaning. Now, what's really important is what she was talking about symbols, about the symbolic nature. The unconscious mind is very symbolic. It will give you symbols that may not mean what you think they mean right away. But if you pay attention to the meaning behind it, everything that comes up has meaning and significance. So, the unconscious mind. There is connection between here, and this connection can be developed over time through things like meditation, hypnosis, the exercises of working with your intuition to develop that ability to connect. Then, we also have a connection between the higher self and the unconscious mind. Here's where things get interesting. So do you notice that there's two here that do not communicate directly? The conscious mind and the higher self don't communicate directly. The only way to get connection with the higher self is through the unconscious. As you develop your ability to communicate more effectively with your unconscious, you develop this ability to communicate through here as well. Now, one of the things that they say in Huna is that they say the path of life is for Ahu, the conscious mind, to become Amakua to Unihipili. So that means the path of life is for the conscious mind to become a totally trustworthy parental spirit to the unconscious mind. So the path of life is for the conscious mind to become the higher self. So we talked about light right at the beginning, and you said it very eloquently, that light, that being of the light means being of the nature of the light. One of the things that I love is whenever people ask me if I'm a Christian, and I say, I attempt every day to be Christ-like. Yes, absolutely.
Good answer.
And that is the process. That's the process of becoming light, of becoming the higher self, of working to become that. Now, what happens when you do that? Here's the next aspect of this. How do you do it? This is when we talk about the up and down motion of things. How we talked about bringing down from above and taking everything in the darkness into the light. That's the important part, or that's the second part. The second part is taking that which we are unconscious of, the darkness, the unknown, and bringing it to light, or bringing light to it, however way you want to state it. Basically, the simple way to state it is the way to reach enlightenment is to become conscious of everything that you are unconscious of right now, in every moment. Tall order. But it's not. Here's why. Because we tend to be conscious of a lot more than is necessary. Anybody ever wonder why people meditate? Probably a lot of them do meditate. And I remember when I first started meditating, and I started learning about this and hearing that some people will sit there for decades and count their breath. They will sit for hours and hours every day and count their breath. And I remember thinking, why would someone